Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I guess I'm going to entitle this video addressing comments part 3 or whatever. Because sometimes I think it's important to do videos based on some of the comments that I receive, because the purpose of my channel is not to show you that I can play guitar, but to help you learn how to play guitar. And from time to time, again, I'll post videos like this because I have to expound on some comments, because what I'm trying to do is just educate the young up-and-coming musician. Because unfortunately, when my era dies off, and it ain't gonna be too far away from, too far away at this point, a lot of the information that we learn doesn't get to the next generation. And I did a video called self-taught don't do it, meaning that just go get some lessons. Invest in yourself. If you want to become a musician, you have to invest in yourself. You want to become, whatever. It's all about investment. Because there's some people that think, as far as my DVD sales, I'm giving him $35. No, you give me $35 investment in you. This is about you. It's not about me. I've already accomplished what you're trying to do. So there's some people that don't understand, and there's some people that get it. And I want to just share some stories, or a story, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to get sued. But I was fortunate enough that when I was growing up in my neighborhood, there was an up-and-coming artist, brilliant guy, great singer, great songwriter, great arranger, and I was fortunate enough to have access to him, and I learned a lot from him, and it wasn't an easy task because this is one reason why I never got on that drug thing, because I'm watching people that I personally know, get caught up in that Hollywood glamour nonsense, start using drugs, and, their career go under, some of them lose their lives, And I said to myself, if I get to that status of becoming a successful musician or songwriter, I'm not drinking no drugs. I'm not putting nothing in my veins. I'm not smoking anything. I'm not drinking anything. Even if my peers are like, go and do this. So they do. I'm like, no, thank you. Because I had a lady, matter of fact, today, I was coming from a place and she said, you wouldn't happen to be a smoker? I said, no, baby. I didn't say baby. I said, no, ma'am, I love my pink lungs. And I meant that. I wasn't trying to be sarcastic or whatever. But I'm like, that's just not my thing. Poison in my body is just not my thing. Poison in my body is just not my thing. So this guy got on drugs, and, I get calls in the middle of the night from him. I left my luggage at the airport. Could you wire me some? No, man, because I know that's a lie. I'm not feeding your habit. But by that time, I got enough of that nonsense. I had acquired what I set out to acquire, and that was to learn how to write good songs like he did. Because again, it's all about soaking in that knowledge. So again, the purpose of my channel is to help young folks soak up that knowledge, because you don't learn while you're talking. You learn while you're listening. And there are some young folks that are smart enough to just listen instead of voicing an opinion that they think they know something about and they don't. I'll give you a good example of that. A couple of years ago, I was in this store. This guy recognized me from my YouTube channel and said, man, I heard some of your tracks, man, slamming. I'm like, thanks. Could you help me out? I'm an up-and-coming rapper. And I said, at that particular time in my life, I had some time to do some stuff for free to help people. I said, no problem, man. We exchanged numbers. He came by the studio. I quickly determined within 15 minutes, I can't help this dude because he think he knows everything and don't know nothing. And he let me hear a track that he did. And he said, well, tell me what you think. I said, well, you're not a bad rapper. I said, you have to learn structure of song. What do you mean? Because the track that he let me hear, it's like music has a structure. You can count in when the verse is going to kick in, unless they do an extended thing or something different, but there's a structure to songs. I said, you came in entirely too late on the intro. It's too much music in front of the vocals or the rapping, and the audience have a tendency to have a short attention span. If you don't hit them quick and hit them hard, you're going to lose them. He went on this tirade, and I said, I'm going to give you a good example. Pull up a song, any rap song, that I haven't heard. And he pulled up a Drake song. I hadn't heard it. And when the music kicked in, I'm counting. I got my hand up. Then they did like that. And then the rapping kicked in. I said, that's what I'm talking about, man. There's a structure to that. You just can't jump in when you feel like jumping in. There's a structure, And it was quickly determined that I can't help him because he's not willing to listen and learn. You know, Back in the day when I was at that stage where he was sitting in the seat that he was sitting in, I kind of thought I knew some stuff, but I kept my mouth closed because I'm like, I'm not an authority on this. So whatever you can teach me, and I've heard your stuff and you're good at it. So let me shut up and listen. But he didn't want to shut up and listen. And then I said, you know what? I know some other guys that might want to work with him. And I called them, and oddly enough, two of them said, I already talked to that dude. I can't deal with him. No, he think he knows everything. He don't know nothing. Yeah, that's the same assessment I came up with. But it's just interesting that, you got a lot of people that just don't want to listen. So then as far as the drum machines, I had a comment about the tom toms because I just did a video on that, and the guy said, "Oh, well, the tom toms, and gave a reason why there aren't any more tom toms in music." And he said it's just a matter of taste. I said, no, what it is the people that are drum programming that, they're not drummers, never been drummers, so they know nothing about that. Because Sal Arithmetic can back me up on this. The drums are the timekeeper. The drums is a good indication of when the next part is kicking in as far as the song, because during the verses, you're just keeping the beat. And then you do something to indicate I'm going into the hook or the B section by tom-tom rolls or crashes, crescendo, something. But in R&B music, that's just a flat line. There's nothing to indicate that, other than the vocals singing in the hook, But drummers, dabblers don't understand that because they're not drummers. The majority of the drum machines now are designed by people that are not drummers. My HR-16 drum series, they mimic a drummer. And that's what drum machines supposed to do, mimic a drummer, as opposed to not mimicking the drummer. Because I give you a good example, and I'm going to say this before I say that. One of my family members were in-laws. We were at this function, and we were talking about, music. And this was years ago, back in the 90s. And he's not a musician, but he said something that made a lot of sense. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. He said, I'm sitting here listening to this song, and I'm hearing the drum rolls, but still I hear the hi-hats going. That's impossible. I said, you're right. Because when I write my drum program, I write it as how a drummer would play it. When there is the roll thing, you don't hear the because the hands, the physical drummer hands are doing this, not and then doing that, And how I write my drums programs to this day, which makes sense, and drummers can back me up on this. I start with my basic beat. This is the beat that's carrying the song, doing the verses. So actually the whole song, but this is the meat of the rhythm. I make a copy of that to another pad or another part of the drum machine. There's a program, pattern number 2. It's identical. With the second, what I do is I will add my tom-toms or my crashes, because that's the portion in the song where it's the indicator that's going into another part of the song. And then I will make probably about 4 copies of the original, and each of the copies will have variations as far as a shuffle, just a little add of variations, through the song. And then you chain them together, and then you have the final from start to finish drum program. Because now what a lot of people do that are not drummers, they just drum program one beat. And that one beat go through the whole 5-minute song. And then sometime live, they do, tsh, do, tsh. It's like, no, Finalization from start to finish. Because, being a musician, I hung around a lot of musicians, drummers, keyboard players. I'm like, I'm trying to mimic what you do here electronically, but there's some people that they don't get that, and unfortunately, when I look at R&B music versus rock now, rock music is the same. They still got live drummers, still live guitar players. They don't rely on cutting and pasting for the most part. If they mess up, they start over like they did in the Motown era, versus now it's a computer thing. You programming your drums through a computer. You're doing your playing through a computer. You just want to play one piano part, and then you cut and paste it through the whole entire 5-minute song and call it a finished composition. And this is not an old man ranting about new technology or the way people do it, currently. What it is about a lot of the information that made me successful and made the guy in the 40s and the 50s successful is not being moved forward. It's getting lost in translation somewhere. And the purpose of my channel is not for you guys to be able to see that I can play, because that's not what this is about. Yeah, I can play. It's what I do for a living. It's about me helping you guys get to that point where you can play. Because I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get out of here. I did a video called Self-Taught, Don't Do It. Meaning that if you can find somebody to teach you to play, whether it's guitar, piano, drums, or whatever, go do that. Don't rely on or expect that you're going to get on YouTube, not knowing how to play, not knowing what you're doing. Watch some dude fingers and learn how to play. Because from time to time I get this. I used to get it a lot until I just kind of kept saying this. I'm playing a cover and the chords on the screen. I can't really see your hands. Don't focus on my hands. Focus on those chords on the screen. Read them. Know what I'm doing. That's the indication of what I'm doing. That chord down there. Don't get caught up in looking at my fingers. Don't, because that's not how you learn. You learn how by learning chords and understanding them and just playing them, because that's what normally professional musicians do. You tell them the chords and they can play it. Instead of show me the finger placement. Oh, blah, that's learning your guitar. And this is not what these covers are about. These covers are about me just showing you the chords, not me teaching you how to play your guitar in that video. I do have DVD lessons that will help you with that, but these are two different animals. There's some people that don't realize that they can't differentiate between one from the other, And I said that, if you can, don't go that route of not knowing what you're doing, thinking you saving a few dollars when you're cheating yourself, watching some dude and trying to learn on the internet. Because one guy chimed in today, that's bad advice and you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, you sitting at home, a dabbler, and I'm a professional musician. Who you think they're going to listen to first, you or me? And it's not an ego thing, it's just the reality. But you got some people that they caught up into that I can do this all by myself just with the internet. You can learn a great deal off the internet. I give you that. But there's just some things you can't discount a shortcut. But there's some people that think that they can. And I realizing that it shows in their plan that they've discounted and took shortcuts. And, I try to stress that to, you young folks out there. If you can, go find somebody that know how to play. No kind of the theory thing as far as the chorus and things of that nature, and be taught by them instead of you can take it upon yourself to try to teach yourself, because there's some people that don't have an idea or clue when it comes to their limitations. I got a buddy, he's a drummer. I've known him since high school, him and his wife, and he's a first-degree black belt. And I asked him about that because I'm like, I'm thinking about perhaps, and before I can get it out, he said, let me just tell you right off the bat, if you don't have 10 years to dedicate to getting to become a black belt, don't waste your time. It's the same thing with music. If you don't have a couple of years, 3, 4 to 5 to 10 years to learn and be good, don't waste your time. You're not going to learn to become a good guitar player or a first degree black belt in a year or two. It's just unrealistic. But you got some people that they don't have a realistic time frame. They think that they can do this because of the info commercial. You can learn how to play guitar in less than 2 months. It's like, yeah, okay. Your 2 months of playing ain't gonna be that good, I'm telling you. So on that note, I'm going to sign off because I got a meeting I got to get to. Until next time, take care. Thanks for watching.